Welcome back, everybody, to Zack the Ripper Comics presents Zack the Ripper Reviews Monday Night Raw. And right off the bat, I'm going to be honest with you and say that I enjoyed this episode of Raw compared to the last month that we reviewed here on Zack the Ripper Comics. We open up with Alexa Bliss asking us to let him in as the Fiend makes his way to the ring. Awesome little segment here. Awesome picture of the two of them standing side by side, hand in hand. Retribution is finally back on television, much to everyone's dismay. They surround the Fiend and Alexa, who do not move an inch. Once they finally attack, the Fiend and Alexa disappear, and out comes the Hurt Business, the other group that Retribution has been targeting over the past couple months. This turns into an impromptu 8-man tag team match that does not involve any WWE suited officials making the match or being authority figures, which I very much enjoy. This is very reminiscent of old school wrestlers challenging wrestlers. Now, I'm not sure if they were going for shock value or not, but T-Bar taps out a few minutes into the match to Bobby Lashley via the Hurt Locker full Nelson, and Retribution immediately loses steam. Following the match, as Retribution is bitching and complaining in the ring, the Fiend reappears and takes out every member of Retribution himself, hitting his sister Abigail on all of them except Mustafa Ali, who managed to kind of tuck his tail and run at the very end. This does not look good for Retribution, although that may be what they want us to think, because next week they'll come back even stronger. AJ Styles up next with his brand new insurance policy. His friend, as he's calling him, a guy by the name of Jordan. We have seen Jordan before. He was once one of Akira Tozawa's ninjas, and he was actually the doorman for Raw Underground. Remember Raw Underground? Nobody else does either. He makes quick work of Matt Riddle, and there's a post-matchup interview via WWE Network. It's an exclusive in which AJ shows a tremendous amount of character. I wish they would let this AJ Styles be the AJ Styles that we see on Monday Night Raw each week. Last week, Lana won the Women's Battle Royal to earn a Raw Championship match against Asuka, which takes place here tonight. She comes up short, however, after she taps out to Asuka's Asuka Lock. Following the match, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax make their way to the ring, destroy both women, and eventually put Lana through a table for the 5th week in a row. Yes, they're even counting it on TV after we started counting it here a few weeks ago on Zack the Ripper Comics. If there's any part of you that believes she's not being punished for her husband, the former Rusev, now Miro, showing up on AEW Dynamite Television, you are sadly mistaken. The tag champs then cut a promo. Nia Jax, horrendous on the microphone. Shayna's wondering if this is the same Grace Jones that was in Conan the Destroyer 30 years ago. They make it clear that they stand dominant atop the women's division, issuing an open challenge of sorts, which is accepted by 3 teams. It's accepted by the Riot Squad, who's technically no longer on Raw. They were drafted to SmackDown just 1 week ago. Also accepted by Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce. Not sure what the point of this tandem is, as they could have just kept the Iconics together. And lastly, accepted by the babyface team that I have been shouting praises from each and every week, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, again in matching gear, looking like an actual tag team. This match was not good by match standards, however, it was very entertaining and very fun if you're enjoying car crashes. It was unclear if the titles were actually on the line or not. Even the commentators were a little bit confused. Either way, the champions retain if the belts were on the line. Next up, we had an extremely long Elias live concert. The only good part of this is that WWE was blatantly being fun and having fun with this segment as Elias was lip-syncing. Most people are calling him out online for it, and that's the exact reaction they wanted. Purposely shot certain angles to show that he was lip-syncing, which makes this more fun. The only downfall is when Jeff Hardy showed up in the end as a roadie of sorts to attack Elias with his guitar. This most likely will be added to the card for this Sunday's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view as one of the matchups that takes place in between the 3 scheduled Hell in a Cell matches. Kofi Kingston versus Sheamus next. This match you would think would have a little bit more power to it as far as these two superstars both being former WWE champions. However, it just felt dull, it felt boring. Both men felt a step off. Kofi, as I said, is Mr. Bony Man himself, not at all what he used to be years ago. Kofi gets the win after Trouble in Paradise for the 3 count. Backstage, the Hurt Business is seemingly leaving the building to go celebrate. Hopefully they don't go to the same bars and the same clubs that Retribution went to just a couple weeks ago, as they will get COVID-19. They run into Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil says that he dresses the part, he acts the part, and he thinks he should be in the Hurt Business. The Hurt Business talk about it for a second and then jump Titus O'Neil. Mustafa Ali cut a promo backstage with Retribution. They all look like idiots except Ali himself. This was probably the best piece of business we've seen from Mustafa Ali in the WWE thus far. He alluded to the fact that he was the SmackDown hacker from early 2020, which was a great callback, and I very much appreciated this piece of storytelling. It went off the rails when he blatantly made it clear through exposition that he, yes, was the SmackDown hacker. We didn't need him to blatantly say it, as his alluding to it was good enough. In the Who Cares match of the week, The Miz and John Morrison take on Tucker, and a partner of his choice turns out to be El Gordo, obviously Otis under a mask. This match was stupid, it was not fun, it was not entertaining, it was not a car crash, it was just tremendous trash.
Blah, blah.
Firefly Funhouse up next, and these are always enjoyable. It seems that the entire Paul Heyman Roman Reigns storyline has been completely dropped in relation to The Fiend. Not sure how I feel about that, as I do feel that is money. However, WWE themselves could see that as money and might be planning this for down the road, perhaps for WrestleMania, which was the original planned matchup with roles reversed for this year's past WrestleMania 36. We finally see Alexa Bliss inside of the Firefly Funhouse, wearing some kind of Nightmare on Elm Street getup, which I very much enjoyed. They let us know that the fun is still to come. Braun Strowman, the train that went off the rails this entire year with his stupid look, his stupid hair, and his stupid promos now, going up against Keith Lee in a sanctioned matchup. After 2 weeks ago, they had their unsanctioned battle across the arena. This one, for the majority of the time, stays inside the ring. Keith Lee goes for his Spirit Bomb. Unfortunately for him, Braun Strowman's able to use his head to headbutt the nether regions of Keith Lee, forcing Lee to let go of the hold. Braun Strowman hits the ropes with a big boot to the face of Keith Lee, sending him down for the 3 count. Following the match, Keith Lee, the bitter sore loser that he is, kicked Braun Strowman straight into the nether regions. This feud is obviously far from done, unfortunately for all of us here. A few weeks ago, I liked their brawl. This week, they did more of a wrestling match, which I was not a fan of. I want to see two big men like this absolutely beat the crap out of each other, throwing each other through the arena, outside the arena, wherever, just not strictly inside the ring. And in the show closing segment of the night, this is the Go Home Raw for the Sunday's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and they did a great job. They had Randy Orton cut one of the best promos I've seen him in this entire year, sitting inside the ring, inside the Hell in a Cell, reliving his past Hell in a Cell matches and what they did to him and what it did for the people that he fought. Drew McIntyre then comes out with bolt cutters, cuts off the clamp so that he can get inside of the cell. As he gets in, we go off the air before these two men can touch. This was a callback to 20 years ago when wrestling would go off the air every week right before something big happened, which made us want to tune in to that Thursday show, to that Sunday's pay-per-view, to that following Monday's Raw. I very much enjoyed this. I know all the internet geeks are up in arms about how they hated this because there was no resolution. Well, guess what? The fact that you're so angry and so pissed off, you're going to tune into the pay-per-view now to see the resolution. Always poundin' Polar. Now, anybody that's been watching has noticed that over the past few weeks, I've been trying to get the Dean himself, Dean Douglas, Shane Douglas, back on the show to help us with grading and reviewing Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. The past couple weeks, it has been bizarre, it has been an experience, but I have, on good measure, I'm being told by my producer that we do have him here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dean himself, Dean Douglas. Dean, how are you? What did you think of Monday Night Raw? Oh, mother... Get this... The show gets a B. It's a B. A B show. That's the show, everybody. I want to thank all of my patrons on Patreon for supporting and pledging the show. Your contributions are going to help this show grow bigger and bigger. I want to thank everybody for liking us on Facebook, finding us on Instagram, hitting up that eBay store for all of your comic book needs, liking this video, and please do not forget to subscribe to this channel as it goes a long, long way because we at Zack the Ripper Comics are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Until next time.